Here now to react, former U.S. Attorney Guy Lewis, Tennessee Senator Marsha Blackburn, and Fox News contributor Jason Chaffetz. Marsha, great to see you. I mean, I don't know where to begin. I'm going to hand it over to you. What do you make of what we've been learning in the past 24 hours or so?
Steve, what we have to realize, this shows just how desperate they were to win and how furious they were when they lost. I think it's also important to remember that the Donald Trump for President campaign was headquartered at Trump Tower. So what they're doing is infiltrating these servers and getting that information, spying on that campaign during the campaign, and then moving it forward to the White House. Now, those of us, I served as vice chairman of President Trump's transition. And when you think about this, think about all the individuals whose information got swept up into this. And I have previously written DOJ to say, was I surveilled? I've never gotten an answer, but it just shows you the extent to which they were willing to go to throw justice out the window and spy because they were desperate. They could not win this on their own. They desperately wanted the third term of Barack Obama. They were not going to get it. They couldn't accept that Hillary lost. They still can't accept that Hillary Clinton lost that race in 2016. So then you see how they tried to carry this out. They're the ones that have ties to Russia, not Donald Trump.
Exactly. And then the fact that they carried it forward to the White House. Well, just a quick follow-up on Jake Sullivan. Do you... Look, he's now the National Security Advisor, and he was up to his neck in all of this. According to some of the reports I read today, you know, he was the mastermind. He was the one organizing it and then reporting on it and sort of claiming he'd discovered all this stuff. How can anyone have any confidence in him in such a senior post? Do you agree with me that Jake Sullivan should step down?
Oh, yes, he should step down. And now that they have Michael Sussmann, and you see the amount of detail from these filings that they have about, through, and regarding Michael Sussmann and the individuals involved in this. So Mark Elias is involved. You've got Jake Sullivan. Jake Sullivan ought not to be speaking on behalf of the United States of America, because you see what these ties are, and you go back and you look at the tweets that he had during this period of time, and you can begin to see the thread and the story that they were weaving and just making it up.
Yes,
just making it up as they went along.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you being so clear about that. Guy, can I flip over to you and ask you to comment on the legal side of this? Because, you know, this is sort of, it's kind of strange the way it emerged, this filing connected to this other indictment in this section called factual background. First of all, what kind of legal status does any of this have? Why do you think it emerged this way from Durham's work?
Great question, Steve. So there's some procedural wrangling going on between the lawyers. And in this filing that Durham issued on the 11th, he's indicated clearly that there was a vast conspiracy, a very dangerous conspiracy between Sussmann and others in terms of mining information, of using it against the President-elect Trump. Hillary Clinton tweets out only a few days before the information about this. So clearly, there were a number of people involved. But I think that Durham is really trying to bring pressure to bear on Sussmann to try to get him to flip and cooperate against his Confederates. And that's where hopefully he'll wind up, because there should be clearly more charges here against others who were involved in this crime.
Well, let's push a little bit further on that, because it seems to me that, you know, if the spying is a crime, the hacking is a crime, and surely the people who commissioned it, who ordered it, not the tech firm who did it, but the people who actually paid for it, you know, so specifically Mark Elias and especially Jake Sullivan, what do you see as their legal, what legal remedies are there that they are held accountable through the law for this?
Let me tell you, the special prosecutor ought to be issuing grand jury subpoenas every day for these people's records, for their friends and family. They ought to be putting them in the grand jury, immunizing them, and requiring them to testify to everything they know. Because it's clear that, look how devious this was, Steve. They used Sussman and his attorney-client privilege to try to cover everything up. He's fought the special prosecutor every step of the way. And so Durham, smartly, he's a tough guy, I know him. He builds his case slowly, step by step, and you can bet your bottom dollar that when he does bring a case, it's going to be airtight against these people that were involved.
Right.
Well, we look forward to that. Jason, your thoughts?
Well, in Watergate, you had, a campaign paying some burglars to go in, and we saw how that ended up. In this case, you have the Hillary Clinton campaign. You have the Democratic National Committee paying Perkins Coie. Perkins Coie was the law firm who is heading up the efforts by Mark Elias and Michael Sussman and others, or about a dozen others, that go through this. And the allegation is that they said, oh, hey, we don't know who we're working for, and the efforts we were doing had nothing to do with the campaign, but it's follow the money. And this is where I think that you're going to see that Durham has a very strong case, is because you find that you follow the money. And if they're in there literally hacking that campaign, the White House, Donald Trump, the healthcare provider, that's an interesting one, trying to potentially, I'm just guessing, going after Donald Trump's medical records and things like that. Not only should the tech firm be held liable, they should be prosecuted as well. But there are people that should go to jail, and I think America's fed up with this. They have absolutely totally lied. The one I hold as accountable as anybody is Adam Schiff, because he should not hold a security clearance. I don't think Jake Sullivan should hold a security clearance based on the information that is publicly available from a U.S. attorney. Put those people on hold until this is all fleshed out. There's no reason this country should take a risk by continuing to offer them and give them a security clearance.
And Jason, what do you think? What is it going to take for the media to cover this fairly?
Somebody in handcuffs being brought into actual jail. I mean, they are showing their hands by not even covering it. You have a U.S. attorney in a filing in the United States court. This is absolutely a worthy story, that for them not to cover it, for the allegations that the Clinton campaign and Hillary Clinton's efforts funded through their attorneys this type of effort. These people should be in jail. That is a legitimate story. We don't know what the conclusion is. They may be found innocent, but this is the path that they're going through, and that has got to be covered by any responsible media.
Well, we'll wait and see. We've got time for a quick last word, Marsha Blackburn, just to close out the discussion.
What we have to do is realize that the methodical nature that John Durham has taken through this, we know, as the other panelists have said, that he is pulling this together very carefully, and you know that he feels on solid footing as he has made these filings. And indeed, I agree with Jason. Jake Sullivan and those involved with this should not be speaking on behalf of the United States until we find out exactly what has happened and if these actions, as alleged, actually did take place.
There you are. Well, it's a big night and a big story. And Senator Blackburn, Guy Lewis, and Jason, great to see all of you. Thank you so much for that.